Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Psychic Tarot Show with Ashala here every Saturday on the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. How's everybody doing this week? Lovely to see you all. Hi, Linda, Debser, Fire Within, Free Stars, Tarot by Lupo, familiar faces. So lovely to share this process with you every weekend, getting us prepared for the upcoming week. Here we are, right in the middle of a activating full moon in Libra. I think it's in a few hours, it's going to its max. So wherever you are in the world, you're experiencing that. We'll probably get into a bit of that as we look at this week's forecast. Before we get too far in, let's remember, as always, please like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. You can find us also here on Rumble and X channels. So we're coming live with several shows every week. This show, I'm looking at a forecast for the upcoming week. So from today, the 12th, all the way up till the 19th of April. If you'd like to book a session with me, there's a link below. You can find me on the Beyond Mystic Consultations page. And I am taking bookings at the moment for the week after next. So if you want to get in soon, jump onto this link below. You can save 10% using coupon code Beyond Mystic, all capitals. Awesome. So, I've had quite an extraordinary 48 hours. It's been super intense. Kind of getting a little tired of saying that every week, but earlier in the week, I really did feel that beautiful energy that we saw last week. And I was very grateful to be held with that energy and to have a sense that even though we know we're going down for another big deep dive into some intensity this weekend, it's not like it's ever been before. It's a different kettle of fish. So let's see what the cards have to tell us about what is in store for us. Again, this is really about, activating our imagination. Some things that come through in these overviews are really obvious. A lot of them are really aligned with what is going on astrologically. It isn't about any of this is absolute written in stone, but it is showing up as being important things for us to keep in mind. So last week, there was so much encouragement. It was like, keep in mind that we are so much further along than it may appear on the outside. A lot of supportive, encouraging energy. And then, when I was speaking with Meg in the As Above, So Below show, we were like, well, the weekend fireworks are going to start to go off again. So, sure enough, that's been my experience so far this weekend. Let's have a look and see what this next week is offering us to consider. Again, it's like information that's going to be helpful for us to bring into consideration. So the ego is on a timeout. This is Aries, the house of Aries. We're in Aries season. We have a full moon in Libra, which is opposite the sign of Aries, right? Full moons are always facing the sun sign that the sun is moving through. So this full moon opposite Aries, it really activates our will, our right to be here, claiming our place here on planet Earth. Any part of us that feels like we don't deserve, we don't belong, we're not enough, or we're too much. What makes us feel like we are in sync with our destiny? That's all that Aries energy. And Libra is about balancing that will, our free will, with our relationships. What do other people feel? What is their destiny? What are their needs? we're considering them, but we're not giving them our self-determining power. So this Two of Swords is very much a stalemate. It's a timeout. It's a pause to reflect, right? You see this character. She is in deep contemplation, and it's one of the few cards of the tarot that actually have a moon in the background. And so when I see these cards, I add in the meaning that we are looking at this next 2-week phase of the moon. So whatever is being activated right now, it is this pausing energy, this kind of stalemate, or the ego needing to recalibrate the balance between self and others, your needs versus the needs of others, your family, your partner, your friends, and so on. Your needs or your home, your community versus the other, whatever the other is. So there we are. The ego is taking a rest, a breather, a timeout. And similarly, Taurus, the house of Taurus, is about how we stabilize, how we ground and feel pleasure, security, well-resourced. It's like we look to what we've already built and we take comfort from the security that's there. So it's probably not going to be a week where you really feel like you're making leaps and bounds to activate new income streams or to, stabilize some new way of feeling well-resourced financially. It may still be a week where markets seem to be on a holding pattern. Not much is changing in the outer financial world. I mean, in some ways we can count our blessings because we don't want too much chaotic, right, upheaval. But also this is like the doldrums. This is the doldrums. We don't feel like established, secure, and safe. We don't feel momentum going in that direction, right? When we get to the Eight of Pentacles, we're back in gear. We're back in the saddle. We're like, okay, now I'm on task and I'm getting things happening and material stuff is moving. This is a feeling like we're in a bit of the doldrums and a holding pattern with finances, money, security, moving money around. Everything just feels like it's a little bit heavy this week. Okay, now we've got another 7 card in the house of communication. So another week to buckle in, perhaps armor up a bit. It is very important that you sort of continue to follow through on things, especially your plans. So it's one thing to write your list, to plan out, vision, have ideas. Sometimes, I'm definitely a planner and I have this experience where I'm like kind of planning, and then when I go through some intensity emotionally, I just go back and start planning again. But there's something about going back and completing things. Follow through, not trying to jump ahead. So this is a little bit, we saw a bit of this energy last week as well, going at like dealing with all the little details. There's more of that. This week, you might have to give yourself more of a push to complete stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have 3 sevens in a row. 7 of Pentacles in Taurus, the 7 Chariot card in Gemini, and the 7 of Swords in Cancer. So Cancer is, again, it's our home base. It's where a lot of this is about even sort of childhood stuff. So I really get that we could all be looking at stuff that happened to us when we were around the age of 7. There's something about this stability, the safety of home. And this is an interesting card to have in that position because it's a lot about, security comes from self-mastery of your own thoughts, your own processes. The more you know yourself, the more you create security, because it's not that you control your outer environment, but you have strategies to deal with everything that comes at you. You've kind of like, you know yourself well enough to go, oh yeah, when that happens, I do this. When this happens, I do that. This is coming up in home. So there's something about our homes that want to be adjusted. You may feel a lot of discontentment. You may feel like you've tried to establish parameters in your home and it's not working. You may feel, again, like you're not feeling settled and grounded in your home. Look at this. It's like the money piece is on hold. There's nowhere to run with our vision, our ideas, and our plans. And then home feels like we're just not quite in the sweet spot. But interestingly, this, we have 3 sevens in a row. So right off the bat, we're looking at luck. 3 of a kind is a blessing. Sevens are a very lucky number. So this is a super great week for turning around your discontent and saying, if I look at it from another angle, I actually have all these things going for me right from where I am. Not from the grass is greener over there, but right where I am. If I reconfigure my perception, I'm actually not taking advantage of things that are right in front of me. So this could be a great week by counting your blessings to really take inventory, especially in your home with your family. What is there? What is there for you to already be gifted with? Sometimes we don't receive what's in our inbox, and that might be a little bit of this because we're struggling to feel safe, open, like we belong, we deserve this. This is big stuff, right? This is really big stuff. But when we see 3 number 7 cards all lining up, we know that there is a blessing around this self, know thyself. The 7 is the self, the number of spirituality, of luck. It's the number of working within, not looking outside to fix things. We have 3 of them. So that's pretty cool. Just going to jump over here to comments and see. Yeah. Be thankful in the present now. It's interesting. I love that you're all going to this place of, can we win the lottery? Maybe we should be playing the slot machines. I mean, yeah, right? 3 sevens. What happens when you see 3 sevens? I think this is the lottery of life. We're looking and going, if I look through the lens of lack, all I'm seeing is all the things that aren't working. If I look through the lens of luck, it's interesting, right? Even the word lack and luck, they're pretty close. It's like, curious. I've never said or heard that before, but yeah, right? Lack to luck. It's literally a fraction of a shift and a little bit different vowel. Right? So let's play around with that this week. That could be our little mantra. From lack to luck. What am I lacking? Yep. Right? Yeah. See the glass is half full always. I mean, yes, right? Obviously. And not always easy to do. So how do we do that? Well, again, gratitude, count your blessings. And have you ever noticed, sometimes I find it really hard to do that. Healing Tarot says there's a U in the word luck. Okay. There's a you. You are in the word luck. So it's putting yourself at the center and going, how lucky am I that blah, blah, blah. I often find that when I'm the most, let's just say, compressed, feeling burdened, feeling the doldrums, feeling this, weighted down, it's the hardest time for me to be grateful, even though it's the same. I'm often grateful for the similar things. It's just harder to focus on it. Yeah. So we're all going to do a little bit of transferring that lack to luck this week. Incoming. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The reason I'm saying wow, wow, wow is because this is the house of Leo. Now, I've talked many times about having a well-aspected card in that house. What cards love to be in the house of Leo? The Strength card loves to be there. The Magician loves to be there. The Star loves to be there. And the lucky Leo lady, do you see the lions there behind her on her throne? The Queen of Fire, the Queen of Wands, the artist, the one that is sort of like does her own thing, considers herself lucky, is always open to adventure, to self-expression. She's the most creative card in the deck, and she's so connected with the sign of Leo. In fact, there's even a little cat with her, and she's in her favorite house. So, us astrologers and readers, we talk about things like this, like, wow, it's a big deal. It kind of is, because there's the odds of her landing in that house. You do the math. There's 78 cards, there's 12 houses. So it is pretty lucky. So now we have luck, and then we have kind of a lady luck in her favorite place. On the incoming, what are we open to? Will luck come calling this week? If you can get into creativity and stay there, if you can get into your own unique version of spirituality, self-expression, celebration, your style of music, your style of, art expression, whatever that is, you could see her as a little bit selfish and indulgent, but she does it so warmly and generously. It's not like, here, let me steal from everybody else and, just covet everything over off in a corner. She's so gregarious. She's so extroverted. So again, also an extroversion, whether you want to or not, you're going to break out of this doldrums by jumping into your extrovert self. Fake it till you make it and get creative. And that's going to help with a lot of this stuff that we were seeing there, right? Okay, little Virgo. Yes, yes, and yes, I agree. Earth Dragon, nice to see you. Yeah. Hi, Susan. Love it. So, getting distracted by all the lovely people and lovely energy and conversations going on over in the chat. Oh, thank you, Ms. Kimberly B., the majestic Queen of Wands, creative sovereignty, love it, in Leo, her best place. Super. Okay, now we have in the house of Virgo, which is our health, our habits, our daily practices, the little details of life. We kind of say, don't sweat the small stuff. Just before I came on the live, I often will sort of tune in and just sit and feel what comes through. And I heard compassion, compassion, compassion. But it wasn't like kind of the big philosophical compassion. It was the little random acts of kindness in the moment. So random acts of kindness. I mean, we've got the cliches this week, don't we? We've got lucky sevens. We've got the queen of fire and creativity. We've got turning lack into luck. We've got this energy of, stepping into, expanding into your extroversion. And then we've got this applied sweetness, like random acts of kindness, starting with yourself. And then just, it doesn't have to be big, giant gestures. You don't have to take on the world and fix everybody's problems, but just as much as possible being gracious and compassionate in the moment. Just a little healing balm everywhere you go, right? I just think about even the bees, collecting pollen, but also dropping pollen everywhere they go. Just feel that energy this week of the sweetness, because Virgo is our health. And, we could be on a path of renewal with our health. We could be a lot closer than it appears. And sometimes, that energy of the compassion for yourself and the sweetness. I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll keep going and see what else is around us. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, the sun is shining. The sun is shining on our relationships. I'm just going to move this over a little bit more so you can see that sun shining. I'm like, can we make that sunshine a bit brighter? There. Okay, this is in the house of partnerships, agreements within friendships, within any sort of way that you work in relationship. We're going through this, like over this full moon, we're going through a lot of big growth, which often brings up, stuff from the past. But I feel like by Sunday, the sun is coming out. So the next 3 or 4 days, really let the sun shine in. Really bask, again, in gratitude. Gratitude for your relationships. Gratitude for your friendships. Gratitude for your partnerships. Again, this is another one of those, literally, there's the cup that's either full or empty. It's definitely full this week. We are really looking at our life through the lens of luck and love. So really time to not be giving all the things that are failing and flailing attention. Really just step away from that. Even for, take a break from that criticism, that critique, that self-analysis. Step into that warmth in the heart. I mean, what a lineup. Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Sun. Queen of Wands in Leo, Page of Cups in Virgo, and the Sun in Libra. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The moon is in the sign of Libra. So Libra, again, harmony, balance, stabilizing our relationships. So notice how quickly you come back to gratitude, to sweetness, to compassion. Be surprised this week. Be surprised with your recovery. Oh, okay. Scorpio has us turning everything on its head. So this is a week of reversal. Again, lack into luck. Everything, when you start going down the old path to drag yourself down, to be pulled down, flip it. We've talked for a lot of years in the truther community about how things have been inverted, right? Everything that was good was turned into something evil. And evil just means something out of order, something out of alignment, something that has been repurposed, used in the wrong way. It's been inverted. It's been flipped upside down. So in order to reverse a lot of the program, we literally need to flip these narratives on their head. So it's a little bit dizzying, right? It's a little bit dizzying. And I love like when I look at these two cards together, the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, I'm really struck by this energy of the circular, cyclical motion of things. And this to me feels very golden age like. It feels very like the tip of the iceberg, the beginning, the tipping point into this golden age energy. And also the sun's ability to heal us. So obviously getting into the sun this week and opening up to that other side, the opposite. You know, we've been trained, the way our media works. I've thought about this for years. It's really, really one of the most tragic things in my estimation is that all our news is dark. All of it is negative. It's like, where are the good news channels? We need at least as many good news channels as we have negative news channels. That has not been the case since media, mass distribution of media has been birthed. It's all been about negativity programming. So how do we shift that around? We go scouring for the good news. We go scouring for the inspiration. I mean, we've been trained to think first about lack, about darkness, about fear, insecurity, right? Low confidence. We've been trained. Everything has been flipped. So we're going to flip things back this week. We have our second page. We have our Page of Swords. Just going to lift this up a little bit, see if I can get a better position here. Lift the camera up a wee bit. Bring it a little closer. I'm going to move. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. Okay, Page of Swords in the house of Sag. So across from the Chariot. Okay, this is interesting. You know, we really want freedom. We really want to kind of have a journey, be freed up. There's something about travel. There's something about like what do we need to do to break the spell of feeling like we're in the doldrums? We need to come up with a way that we're going to suddenly do something different. We're going to do something spontaneous, whether we like it or not, whether we think we can afford it or not. We're going to just suddenly go, boom, I'm doing something that I totally wasn't planning. I'm going to switch everything and do one thing out of the ordinary. So breaking that, you see this wheel spinning, we're flipping things. And then this guy, Page of Swords, he is a messenger with an idea or a strategy. And we've got across from that in Gemini, that Chariot. It's like we're all in our kind of rut. We're all stuck in that doldrum energy. And we're going to break through this week by purposefully doing something to break ourselves out of our habit patterns. And it's something fun. It's something, Sag is expansion, is joy. It's ruled by Jupiter, which is joy, fun, freedom, spontaneity. So something, just take yourself on a little spontaneous journey of some kind. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we're getting up there in Major Arcana this week, and this one is Hierophant in the house of Capricorn. So Hierophant is a lot about rules, right? And Capricorn is about rules. So whose rules are we following? We're still, subconsciously, we still revert to those old systems, those old rules, the rules we were raised with. So I really got a lot of, we've been talking about deprogramming a lot in the last few weeks. It continues this week. one of the things you can do to break this cycle is to say, I'm going to make my own rules. I'm going to make my own rules. We all need rules. We all need some kind of guidelines to follow. We all need to take leadership in this time. But we are so trained to let someone else make the choices for us. Let someone else make the rules. Let someone else tell us. So there's something about taking the reins this week and in some way making your own rules. So let's see what's on the other side of it in Aquarius. Oh my gosh. Wow. Again, we're looking at this energy between the self and the others. So it's like, you want to make rules that are good for everybody. You don't want to make rules that are only good for you. So there's something about, it feels very much being your own kind of guru, your own authority figure, your own rule maker, like your own code of ethics. It's very interesting. Having the Hierophant in the house of Capricorn is interesting. You're either going to be ruled from the top down and you're just going to have to go into some kind of disciplinary program that is you've put yourself in there, or it's going to be imposed on you. But with these really good cards around it, I don't think that's what we're seeing here. I don't think we're seeing a top-down disciplinary program. I think we're seeing a self-generated, like this Seven of Swords down here in the bottom is like you are stepping into self-mastery. And part of that is self-discipline. Saturn is the master of discipline and ruler of this house of Capricorn. And the Hierophant is a lot about rules and how you organize yourself. It's also about your leadership capacity. So all of you, the majority of our community here at Beyond Mystic are leaders. The majority of us are pioneers, way showers. And, Digi Bean, the middle of writing a poem about that topic, and Sandy, to thine own self be true. Yeah. Give yourself permission. Thank you for your comments. Yeah. Old beliefs and traditions, that is, again, like I said, if this Hierophant up here was badly aspected, I'd be like, there's going to be some kind of top-down imposition of rules and following some top-down directive. But all these positive cards around it and on either side of it and across from it, it's like, no, that is not the case. This is actually like a lot of self-direction. You're being your own teacher, your own guide, your own guru. Now, I know we can't do that all in a week. I get it. It's like, but it's sort of like there's these little flavors, little spices to add to the mix this week. And by adding them, the combo of these little spices, like, the ego taking a pause, the lucky sevens and looking at luck, not lack, and getting really generating your sort of courage and your extroversion, faking it till you make it, right across from having fun, right? Friends and fun, celebration. Take a little side tour. Turn off the beaten path and do something you don't normally do for fun with a friend. Yeah. Apply liberally this compassion, acts of kindness, whether you think it's going to help or not because it's got an agenda. Like if I do that, maybe they'll do this, or if I do that, maybe I'll get this. This is just like, you know what? If I've got an option to be sweet or just be nothing, just add a little sweetness. Add a little sweetness, everybody. Okay, last card. Drum roll. Judgment. Judgment. Wow. Judgment in Pisces. That is really a drum roll. That is really a drum roll. Judgment is go big or go home. Pisces is the deep subconscious, our hopes, our fears, and our self-undoing. Go big or go home. We're going, like, we're going to jump up or what? But it's already happening, right? So this call to action to become your own leader, to turn lack into luck, to just really shift things, to do that reversal, tip everything the other way around. When you feel yourself starting going down those old patterns, just be like, no, reverse that. You know, we used to say that thing, erase that, when we'd say something that we wished, like we were putting out a negative spell, saying something really either nasty about ourselves or someone else, or really limiting belief. We'd go, erase that. What I'm hearing is reverse that. Reverse that. Yeah. Woof. Okay. Let me pop over here for a minute and bring you to, we've got some more things that I'd like to share with you about what's happening on the Beyond Mystic community forum here. So, annual membership, Insider Access Pass, IAP. I am absolutely delighted to inform you that the IAP membership with promo code SPRING50 has been extended. So you can save 50% off on becoming a Beyond Mystic IAP member. Use that promo code SPRING50, all in capital letters. And I have another thing to share with you. This is Jen's new DNA meditation. So let's have a quick look at this. It is still discounted. DNA cleansing and upgrade meditation with Jens. Step into a new level of alignment. Join Jens for a powerful live online group meditation. Experience a DNA and cellular clearing and upgraded, tuning yourself to the higher frequencies now flowing into Earth. So this has just happened a few hours back, but you can jump on, purchase this, and watch the replay. And you know what? This is such a powerful thing to do this weekend. This is like this full moon, all that energy we've been talking about. Talk about flipping things, reversing things, putting them in a new direction. How awesome is that? All right, I'm going to put the last card up. We'll see what it is. We're going to put the last card in. Oh, the Emperor. Whoa. Oh, my. Okay, let's count the major arcana, shall we? We've got 1, Chariot, 2, the Sun, 3, the Wheel of Fortune, 4, the Hierophant, 5, Judgment, and 6, the Emperor. That's half. That's half the cards. So, or almost half. So really, this week, a little bit heavier in terms of when all the allies show up, we know we've got some stuff, roll up our sleeves and get moving through some stuff. I'm particularly interested that the Emperor is at the center of everything. So our Emperor has to do with authority, power, and our father figures. So any aspects of father wound, any aspects where we resist authority, override authority, discipline, being self-disciplined, rebelling against authority, having a reaction that's about power and dominance, stealing power. All of those topics are connected to the emperor, you know? Um, and so the healthy version of all of those pieces are about having, respecting discipline, practice, protection, self actualization, strength, stability, self determination. That's the positive aspects. We can't get into those positive parts of self determination without healing some of the ways we've been trained to do it poorly. We've been trained to steal energy from ourselves and from others. We've been trained to resist authority, resist being, told what to do, especially people in our community, right? We definitely don't like to follow orders, which is awesome, but we want to follow the orders from our own higher knowing. We don't want to be so resistant to rules and authority that we don't take our own authority seriously, that we're just rebels without a cause, right? So we're doing a little bit of this. We're doing a little bit of this week because he's right in the middle. But he's getting flipped upside down. He's getting kind of activated with a lot of luck. There's this phenomenal creative energy, sweetness, bright sunshine in the realm of relationships, celebration with friends, shifting everything on its head, becoming your own authority, like, wow. And then finally, it could feel, it's so interesting. So many of us have been talking about, why is it taking so long for change? Why is it taking so long for change? Now there's a lot of change going on internally, and we're going, why is it changing so fast? I can't keep up with the internal change. So we want the outside to change really fast, but we don't want the inside to change really fast. So this is a little bit of us getting kind of in gear and ready. I want to say, what an opportunity to up level into our hearts with this sweetness in Virgo. Really, really lovely. Really beautiful. I'm going to jump over to the comments here, have a peek at how people are doing with it all. Self-mastery. Yeah. Interesting. We're talking about religion and ETs. And, interesting that we are part of this Hierophant is about creating not our own religion per se, but our own religious practices, meaning I often think wouldn't it be amazing to create a really beautiful religion that takes some of the very best aspects out of different religions? That, you have certain things from Eastern religion, certain things from this Western one, this one, and you just design something that combines all the things that you really value about what we call, tradition, culture, spiritual life path, spiritual practice. It's so valuable. It's so lovely to have those traditions, but we don't have to take the whole thing with all the reversals that come with it, right? We don't have to take all the things that were totally, disharmonious with the integrity of the value system. I mean, it's one of those things, right? Hypocrisy in religion. We've got religions that have this incredible philosophy at their core, but then they basically, train people to go against that philosophy. That doesn't feel like, do no harm and love thy neighbor and, do not kill anyone. And then, but except for the ones that I say to go out and kill. I mean, we as little tiny children, we all knew there's something wrong with this. It doesn't make sense. So this kind of thing is where we're saying, do we throw out religion? Do we throw out spiritual tradition? Do we throw out authority, discipline, rules? No. But we are going to have to kind of recreate this stuff. Yeah. Aw, thank you. Lovely to see you. Oh, interesting. Thank you. There are as many religions as there are people on the planet. Really feeling this. Yeah, take out the ceremony and the gurus and master self. So interesting, right? Like, I mean, ceremony is an interesting word. It's like if you look at what constitutes, there's difference. There's ritual and ceremony. They're slightly different. You can look up the definitions. Um, there is something beautiful about devotional practice, right? But it's like, what are you agreeing to by saying these words in this order and doing this particular offering and putting it under this particular symbol and like saying these words along with it? Like sometimes we're agreeing to all this stuff. We don't even realize what we're saying and doing, what the context is. I think it's pretty safe to say, like, I send divine love and healing to all beings, all sentient beings in the planet. Like, that's a pretty beautiful ceremony to offer a gift, to care for someone, or, offer food for animals or people in need, or make something beautiful just for the sake of giving a gift to the spirit world. Like, it's so obvious in a way. The things that we loved about the old traditions and the ceremonies, we don't need to throw them all out. We just might not want to do them in the context of those religious agreements, right? Because we realize that some of that stuff, maybe not all of it, but a portion of it has been hijacked and inverted. So, yeah, love it. Oh, thank you, Fire Within. Feeling the light. I love this. Yeah, we've looked at organized religion for years and shows what's resonating with us. And there was a time where you did that and it was called blasphemy. And this isn't about just taking the easy stuff and not doing any hard work. Like, I don't know, I feel like when I am speaking to people in our community, I see your hard work. Many of you have had readings with me. I see how hard you're working. This is not about getting off easy. I'll only take the part of religion or spirituality that's easy. None of you that I've met are on the road to easy street. It's like, we're the ones that lost our jobs, went against the consensus narrative, stood up for things even when it wasn't popular, put our necks on a line. That's not easy street, folks. That's hard work. And it takes a huge amount of humility and true heart-centeredness and courage to stand in that and not become bitter and mean and spiteful and angry. And so many of you have succeeded in that. You are heroes, So I think I trust you in choosing what you want out of the religions that you are inspired by, the traditions that you feel inspired to integrate. I trust that. Like, you're not just looking for an easy path. Yeah. Religions were meant to divide us. Yep. Right. Yeah. Expertise encouraged me to take out the ceremonial stuff and stay present. Interesting, right? It's like our interdimensional allies, it's less significant for them what we do in 3D. However, curiously, often I have heard interdimensional requests for some kind of 3D things. It's not like some kind of weird ritual or satanic cult thing. It's really about like, you know, doing something beautiful and honoring. Often it's like, can we give a gift in some way? I like to say, putting flowers out, putting, feeding the ancestors, not in a ritualistic way, not because we're trying to get power over something, because we're generous. We're generous with what we have. Make something beautiful. Give a gift. So the interdimensionals are not so interested in 3D because they're not here in 3D, but sometimes they love us to do things that they cannot do because they're not in form. So just consider that too. 3D expressions of devotion are not bad. They are just another type, but we can't get ritually attached to them. That it's when we do it, like we have to say it this way in this order, and it has to be done under this light and this thing and that thing and da da da. It's like, well, okay. Now we're getting into dogmatic, power dominating religion for sure. Yep. Don't follow those claiming to be the only path. Aww. Well, this has been interesting, right? We've definitely gone on a journey with that Hierophant up at the top there and our Emperor in the center. Yeah. Happy pink full moon, everybody. Thank you. And R.T. Tucker is saying Jens's workshop today was magical and tingly. Wow. That is so beautiful. So check that out, folks, if you haven't done so already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just quickly going through the comments. Yeah, Monica saying, millions have been murdered in the name of religion, all meant to keep us in fear. So again, it's interesting, right? When I think about just things that we've grown up with culturally, different celebrations, it's like, wow, wasn't it special when we had Sunday dinners together as a family? Or for, people of the Jewish faith, the Saturday or the Friday night Shabbat dinner or whatever it was. And it's like, we needed the religion to tell us to do that. Can we do that without that? Can we say, this is a tradition? Can we change religion to tradition? Our family loves this tradition. Our family loves the time of year that we've known as Christmas, which we know is totally something that was hijacked and turned into something else and is all associated with dark forces and everything. But at the same time, it's like, okay, for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, that's a dark time of year. It's a really nice time to light candles, to be inside, to have a roaring fire, or have friends and family over to share a feast. Like, can we do that and not call it religion? Can we call it tradition? And I feel like we don't want to throw tradition baby out with the bathwater. We really don't, because it's like, it's so beautiful. It's like this, in a way, is reclaiming our own traditions. And it's wonderful to see what people do when they're left to their own. You just see groups of friends get together and they become like, we get together this time every year. We have this kind of celebration and it's become an annual theme. How many people do you know that have decided, wow, we had this amazing experience. We're going to do this again, and it's going to become an annual theme. Our Beyond Mystic conference, right? A celebration could become an annual theme, could become a tradition. Beautiful. We don't have to call it a religion. So I've gone on a bit of a rant. You got me going, everybody. Hello. Hello, Melbourne. So lovely to see you all. Oh yeah, I love that. 1,000 ways to climb a mountain, all good. That is a great place to leave off. Harmony is the orchestration of different voices, different notes, different timing. Make beautiful music together, everyone. Yeah. And she loves music, this Queen of Wands. She loves music. So, music, art, creativity. Have a beautiful week, everybody. I'm going to sign off with the reminders as always. Let's come on over here. You can follow us live on the Beyond Mystic Rumble channel and also streaming live on X channel. You can also find us here. Please like, share, and subscribe to our Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. You can book a private session with me where you can receive a 1-hour private session. We do the sessions over Zoom. They're recorded. I send you the recording afterwards so you can listen to it again, make notes. Great way to give yourself the opportunity to have a full hour where your soul, your higher self gets to come forward and, speak to you. We get to hold space for your questions and that direct connection to your higher guides. It's always hard for us to listen to our own guides. It's a lot easier to, listen to or have someone else interpreting the messages that are resonating with you. And I'm going to quickly bring you over to have a peek at the schedule. So here we are, April 7th to the 13th show schedule. So tomorrow, Sunday, we have the astrocartography workshop with Meg, and that is 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. I guess that's the live. And then we have Meg's Beyond Astro at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Rumble and YouTube. These are all in Eastern Standard Time. So look forward to seeing you all here again next week. Have a beautiful week. Look after yourselves. Remember, luck, not lack. Count your blessings, everybody.